Now, when we talk about lesson plan, what is the basic purpose of the lesson plan? In your teacher's training and all those, with your experience, you already know what purpose does lesson plan serve. But if you talk about in one line, what lesson plan does is it keeps your teaching learning process on track in the classroom. In the class, if you're following a lesson plan and if you have made the plan very keeping all the things in mind for that period, what happens is in the classroom only that happens what you want, not the children, because you have to finish the course, you have to cover the topic, and at the same time you have to ensure that all the students have understood the stuff. So this entire challenge has to be met by the help of lesson plan and your teaching skills. So lesson plan in a flow shows, first of all, what are you going to achieve in this particular period or in this class. Then you mention what all other tools or aids you might be requiring to execute that teaching learning process. And then you come on to the teaching part. How will you introduce the session? How will you open up the session, the topic to the children? Is it going to be a rhetorical question? It is going to be a story, or are you going to show some picture or chart, whichever way? Or computer teacher, are you going to show some demo of Python program and then you come to the Python concept? So it depends. So how you open the chapter, how you open the topic to gain the attention of the students and they get involved. Now this opening has to be very interactive. Opening has always to be interactive. Generally what happens, we inform. Do not inform anything in the opening. In the opening you talk. And as you talk, you naturally let the students know themselves what the topic is. So if I'm going to teach about electronic spreadsheets, so I will talk about calculations and automatic calculations, calculator. I will talk about calculator. Have you seen your dad or mom doing calculations? Have you done some calculation? So I'm talking. And with that talk, I'm coming slowly to the actual topic. So first 5 minutes when you're opening the topic, ensure that children are speaking and talking to you. Because when they speak and talk, they get open up. Their mind gets open up, they connect with the teacher, and then with that flow, you can take them together. But in the opening, if you are opening the topic and you are just you are speaking and informing, that is one way. Many of the students will disconnect. But when you compel them to talk, and especially those who run away from that, once you get the attention of the students, then slowly and naturally you come to the topic, and not very technically, not like cut, this part is done, now this part. It has to be a flow. So I'm showing you a generic structure and I show you the template of the lesson plan. Well, so in the header, these are the usual things like what subject and chapter you are going to teach about. And if you are making the topic you are mentioning for which class and for which period it is there. For technical subject, is it a classroom session or a lab session, that you have to tick or mention. Which teacher is going to take the obviously your name. And in certain classes, what happens, there is a support assistant teacher also, maybe in lab, or in, if it's a complicated topic in classroom, there might be two teachers also in certain cases. So that assistant teacher will be mentioning here, and how many periods and what will be the duration in minutes. If you are going to make a lesson plan for entire chapter, which is going to span across many periods, that then this you have to mention. So here we are giving pre-content review. Pre-content review means what all they are going to get familiarized with. I have taken a sample example here also. In this lesson plan, mote-mote taur pe, in general, what I'm going to do in this period, that I have given in one line only. It is not the objectives. It is just the preview. Objectives, specific objectives will come later on. When you come to the learning objectives, the next part, you will explain, you will mention in action verbs what exactly students will be able to do after that period. So there, I have given you some action verbs here as a sample: explain, describe, identify, create, define, label, blah blah. There are hundreds of them. So that depends what you are going to get your students to do. Accordingly, you will frame the sentence. Once the objectives are in place, you are very clear what you are going to do. In a skill focus area, you will mention what kind of skill students are going to develop after this period or after this lesson plan is executed. That will come into skill focus area. Then what kind of learners are there? These are the learning styles. All learning styles are here. You will mention what kind of learner types you are catering to in this particular period. For example, if you are going to give a demo on the screen, so you are catering to the learners who learn easily from visuals. So mostly 90% people are able to learn from the visuals. So you are catering to uh, visual kind of learner. So you will mention that I am catering to visual kind of learner or kinesthetic learner or auditory, those who listen. Maybe you are going to show some audio and video. So auditory will also be there. So this way you mention the learner types, what teaching aids you are going to use, any kind of model or picture or image or demonstration on the screen, whatever. What are the general resources or other technology like internet URL or YouTube video? Are you going to use that also? That you will mention. Then you come to the actual part of execution, where the first point is the engaging, as I told you, opening the session. So in opening the session, how will you engage the students so that they get interested in what you are speaking? So what will teacher do, what will students do, and what kind of skill they are going to develop in that interaction? And for any additional information, you can put it in remarks. Now class has started. You have opened the session. Now you have moved on to the explanation, the concept. You have moved on to the concept introduction. So you have come to the point and you are introducing the concept. Again, the same thing, teacher activity, student activity, etc. Then you come to the core detailed explanation of the topic. And finally, you will close it at the end of the period or at the end of the chapter. So this is actual meat of your entire lesson plan. You will be in action, your students will be in action here in this part. After that, after the session, what you are going to do? You are going to review, you are going to assess, you are going to give feedback. These are the activities which will happen in the end of the lesson plan. So you will reflect what could have been better, how could I be making this more effective in next time when I take this, what mistakes did I commit, or what went very good, what went well, what are the learnings out of it. Then if it is a technical subject like science and computers, what practical they are going to do in lab exercises you will mention here, and how are you going to evaluate the students, this you will mention at the end of the chapter. Any home assignments or any additional assignments you are giving them, mention them here. And have you given them any additional learning URLs की YouTube पे ये वाला वीडियो देख लो, ये वाला इंटरेक्टिव एक्सरसाइज कर लो, यहाँ से ये PDF डाउनलोड कर लो, या आपने कोई PDF दिया हुआ है अपनी तरफ से. So for any additional learning, if you have given anything, you can put it. But all that is optional. It depends on your topic. So you mention it, otherwise you remove it. This is the template I have shown you. This is one sample lesson plan, computer science. So you will mention the class, let's say, for example, class 8, which period you are going to talk. Is it classroom or lab session or both? It could be both also. You might be explaining something in the lab itself. Which teacher is there? Any assistant is there? If it is going to be more than one periods, I will mention here. So pre-content review mein, I am going to make them familiarize with this. That is given in the title also. So no big deal. I'm just informing. And you see the objectives now. I little bit zoom it here. Look at the action verbs. So students will be able to insert the images. They will be able to set different attributes, understand how web pages are hyperlinked, distinguish between, organize the data in tabular format by HTML table, manipulate, merge. So these kind of action verbs you will use to describe the objectives. The ability students will gain after this session. Now, what kind of skill students are going to develop in this period? Students will be able to develop comprehension and visualization. So when the teacher is speaking, teacher is giving the demo, they will also create a picture in their mind. So they will be developing the skill of visualization and understanding comprehension from the visualization, from the demonstration. They will be developing their problem solving skills because teacher will give them a scenario to create a web page. based on that. So they will think about it. How would they go about it? They will plan it out, define the solution. Analytical skill, in the process of problem solving, they will think up. So analytical skills will obviously move in. Web design skills will be automatically there. They are creating a web page. And how will they organize the information? That is also important. What are they going to show first on the web page, second number, third number, and so on? What will be the flow of the content? How will they name the web page? Some people just name the web page like web page 1, web page 2. No, it has to be a relevant name of the web page. What heading and title they have given to the web page. So this all is called information organization. So those skills they will develop. So it is talking about these skill set which will be taken care of in this session. And then we move on to what kind of learners. Mostly you will find these learners who learn by doing, learners who think logically in computers, that is required, and learners who learn by watching. What teaching aids you are going to use? Smart board, projector, computer book, HTML editor will be there. You might be using whiteboard and markers also. I mention every big and small thing here. That is teaching aids. Any general resources you are going to use? Are you going to integrate technology in the classroom? Are you going to show some video, maybe on the projector or in your mobile phone, whichever way? So you are mentioning here which video you are going to show them. You are going to show them some interactive e-content also. Any interactive worksheets are there in this chapter. So you have mentioned them on this link. Students will go and solve the worksheet. And then you come to the actual teaching part. As you see here, this is what you have to focus on actually. Engage, how you are going to engage the students. How are you going to introduce the topic? So you will ask the students whether they have visited any website. Everyone has visited at least 10 websites by that age. So you talk to them about website, images, hyperlinks. You ask them questions. Okay, which website you have visited? What happened when you clicked on the link? How did you come back to the previous page? So these kind of things you will interact with them. So once they interact with you, they will get connected with you. What will be the student activity? They will be listening to you actively. Active listening means they're interacting. They're listening and responding. And they're sharing their experience. That is what the students will do in this part. And unknowingly, the students are actually developing their comprehension skills. They are learning how to follow the concept. They are learning how to visualize, because when you will ask them the question, have you clicked on hyperlink? They'll create a picture in mind, clicking a web page. So this will make the students curious. In remarks, you have mentioned the purpose. Purpose is to generate interest and excitement in the students about the chapter. And that's the core purpose, 99% of engage part of the teaching. From engagement in a flow, you will come down to the actual topic you are now going to introduce. So you introduce the concept of images on web page. You show them a web page with images. You talk about image elements, hyperlinks, and tables, etc. So in this concept introduction, you just give them a brief overview of everything. This is the image, this is a hyperlink, and this is a table. You show them just. And then you demonstrate in the concept demo and explanation. You one by one, you tell them how an image is created, the practical part. So you will show them how practically this all will be done. So this is the major part of the classroom. Maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes will take this up. Some activities also there. You have planned for some activity which they will do. What all skill they are going to develop, this is going along with. After the activity, you will teach further. You will again demonstrate something. You will explain something about tables and all. Once this entire thing is covered, you will summarize in the end the topic of all the three things. What is the significance of images? What is the usefulness of hyperlinks? Are there to be too many hyperlinks or very few hyperlinks? How hyperlinks help in navigation of the web page and site map? All those things you will discuss in closing. How tables are useful in presenting the data which can be easily understood. So this all you discuss in a summary form, and you close your class. You close the chapter. In post-content review, students can identify different HTML attributes and tag. Are the students able to do that? This is the review. Students can create a simple HTML page with image, hyperlinks, and tables. Are the students able to do that? You will reflect on that. What practical they will do? students will visit the computer lab under the guidance of teacher. They do the following activities. So they will do this. This will come to your come from your book also. Your book has got the practical lab exercise that you can mention here. The students will solve the chapter and activities. This is in the evaluation part. For home assignment, you have given them two tasks. One is to revise the chapter and some experiential learning kind of. You have given them some home assignment to create some homepage about some advices. So some kind of activity you have given for experiential learning. Experiential learning is learning by doing. So that is one major part of NEP which you are incorporating here. And for additional learning, you have given them quite a lot of stuff. They can do it in their free time. They can go to this link and do the interactive worksheet. Some interdisciplinary approach you have incorporated here. Students are engaged in understanding the basics of inserting images. Remedial measures. Are there any remedial measures for weak students? Are you going to provide some additional consultation to the weaker students or additional exercise? That the teacher has also mentioned here. Remedial measures here. So this way, you will organize your lesson plan. That is one sample only. And for each topic, you will find the lesson plan on the teacher's corner. When you click on this teacher's corner, first time when you are clicking on this, you may have to register yourself. That is one time process. Once that is done, then you can, while registering, you can click the checkbox, remember me. So next time it will automatically take you in. So when you click on this teacher's corner, it will look like this. Here is the teacher's corner. And you see all the things which you might need. They are listed here in the form of an accordion. Lesson plans of our series, all the series here, and many other useful information you will find other than only book. There are many other useful, interesting things also.